Hello everyone, I am Dr. Major Harshita Surange, founder of Family First, which is India's first of its kind, a virtual multi-specialty healthcare system. Family First is created to bridge the gap between the patients and the healthcare professionals in their respective geographical areas. We aim to increase the life expectancy of our members at bare minimum cost without much alteration in their lifestyles. As this could be achieved only by promoting preventive healthcare, and hence our doctors have offered their first consultancy free to all our members. And this consultancy could be online or physical. Healthcare partners of Family First have also pledged to spread awareness on common myths and facts regarding the general problems or ailments in the society. In an effort to do so, on every Saturday, Family First comes live. Family First comes live with webinars with specialists of different fields to talk on the common ailments and how to handle them. Our motto of these live webinars is to make the general public aware about the common myths and facts. Due to the lifestyle changes, back pain has become a very common problem and is affecting all age groups. And as per WHO, it is the fourth commonest problem public is suffering from. Today, we shall be talking about how to take care of the back, as prevention is better than cure. We would also talk on the various myths and facts associated with back pain. Lastly, we would be talking upon the latest treatment options available. The panelists today are our founding members, and the first is Dr. Pankaj and Surange, who is the founding member of Family First and is a renowned pain specialist who has expertise in treating all kinds of back pains. Our second panelist is Dr. Chanchal, who is an Ayurvedic expert and is also a founding member. She would be talking about the role of Ayurveda in back pain. Welcome, Dr. Chanchal and Dr. Pankaj.
Thank you.
I framed some common questions which we come across in our day-to-day lives. So I would start with Dr. Pankaj. Dr. Pankaj, back pain is common. What are the common causes of pain in young and old population?
Causes are many for the back pain, but what you said is for the young patient, so that is more alarming nowadays. Because if you talk about 15, 20 years back, we never used to consider that back pain or the spine pain is the problem of the young patients. But now what we are seeing in our day-to-day clinical practice is that most of the patients who are coming, they are young age patients. Now in the young age patients and the older generations, the problems are back pain problem, the causes may be different. Nowadays, if I talk about the younger population, the main cause of the back pain is inactivity, prolonged sittings, long driving hours. So that is the main reason for the back pain in younger population. Whereas in older population, the degeneration, which is a normal process, is a process which happens with everybody. So with age, degeneration process starts, like our hair starts going gray. So that happens in the spine also, joints also. So that is the main reason for the pains in the spinal region or the joints in the older age population. But what is you said is that main alarming is the younger population. That is more alarming, and that is basically is why it is more alarming, because that is leading to disabilities also. So in young older population, it's okay that we can take some rest, we can stay at home. That is possible, but that is not possible in the younger age patients. So if they suffer from these kind of back pains, it becomes a chronic problem, and then it's leads to disability and chronic conditions.
So you mean to say that young population is more alarming, and what is the main cause? Cause means, is it a muscular cause? Is it a disc or bone pain? What is the main cause for young population?
So main causes are the disc are the one of the major cause of the back pain in younger population, whereas in the older population it is the joints, the spine. In the spine we have smaller joints, so that is a major cause of the back pain in the older population. But definitely in the younger population, disc is a major cause. But here I would like to mention here that disc means not prolapsed disc or the slip disc. It is not always true. Before that, there is one stage that is called pain, discogenic pain. So that is the main reason. So as per the statistics, what we have, around 40 to 50% of the back pain problem in younger population is because of the disc-related pain, and 30 to 40% is related to facet joints. 15 to 20% is related to the muscular pains. So that is the overall statistic.
Okay, that's the overall incidence of back pain. And
This is worldwide.
and if a young boy, a young person is having back pain, when do you suggest that he should come and meet a doctor? Most of the time, when there is a back pain, generally people say कि muscle खिंच गई है, टेढ़ास हो गए थे, all these type. So when is the right time to visit a doctor before it gets late?
So there is something called red flags. So whether it is a young patient or an old patient or whatever age it is, there are some red flags. So we must understand these red flags. If we have any of these red flags, that is a situation where we have a emergency, maybe an emergency situation. So red flags means if the patient is having back pain, which is not improving with exercises or the medications or some rest also. If it is not improving after 4 to 6 weeks of doing conservative management, that is going towards some major problem. Second, if the patient is having back pain and it is radiating down to the leg, that means starting from back and going down to the legs. So that is another red flag. Third, if the patient is having radiation along with some sensation loss, that means patient says that at times I don't feel something on my left side of the leg, or patients feel some weakness in the leg as compared to the other leg. So that becomes a red flag. Fourth is if the patient says that when I take rest, at night, patient is having pain at night when patient is resting. So becomes again a red flag. Fifth one is that is a severe condition. That means the patient is losing the control of the bladder bowel. That means patient doesn't have any control of the urine and the passing stool. So that becomes again a red flag. There are multiple red flags, but I'm not going to those multiple things, the severe ones. But these are the general where they should immediately consult a spine specialist.
So you mean to say if a person starts having back pain, so he should stay on a conservative management for 4 to 6 weeks before going to a doctor. Is this what we should conclude?
No. I'm saying that the patient is having back pain, but if these red flags are not there, in those cases we can go for the conservative management in the form of medications and exercises. But if any of such thing is there, then when the first day becomes a emergency and they must report a specialist doctor.
And when do you say that it is time for, when should the patient go to a physiotherapist?
So physiotherapy is definitely has a role in the conservative management. As I mentioned, 4 to 6 weeks of conservative management. In that we have this physiotherapy also. Or if you can do some exercises on your own, that is also good. Or maybe after consultation with a physiotherapist or some general physician or a specialist doctor, if they suggest you to do some exercises on your own, that also you can do. So usually 4 to 6 weeks of conservative management that comprises your physiotherapy also, some exercises, own exercises, and medication also.
Thank you, Dr. Pankaj, for enlightening us on this. Dr. Chanchal, what is the role of Ayurveda in back pain?
See, Ayurveda takes it as kati shul. Kati means आपका back and shul is pain. तो आयुर्वेदिक पर्सपेक्टिव से अगर आप देखते हैं तो ये वात जो व्याधि है, यानी कि वात दोषा, जो कि हमारे डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम के इम्बैलेंस की वजह से या डाइजेशन ठीक से नहीं होने की वजह से जो भी टॉक्सिन्स आपकी बॉडी में एक्यूमुलेट होते हैं आम दोषा की फॉर्म में, वो जो भी आपकी बॉडी का वीकर ऑर्गन होगा या जहां पर भी खवेग्युण्य मिलता है यानी कि स्पेस मिलता है, वो वहां जाकर टॉक्सिन्स एक्यूमुलेट करता है और वहां डिजीज होती है। तो जब हम आयुर्वेदा यूज करते हैं तो आयुर्वेदा में इसका जो मैनेजमेंट रहता है वो वात और पित्त दोषा या वात के साथ जो भी एसोसिएटेड सिम्टम रहता है उसके साथ उस दोषा को बैलेंस करने पे रहता है। तो वायु दोषा जो पेन जिसका प्राइम सिम्टम है कि अगर कहीं पे भी विशिएटेड वाता रहेगा मीन्स वहां पर पेन होगा ही होगा। तो आयुर्वेदा के पर्सपेक्टिव से हम जब बात को बैलेंस करते हैं तो जो हमारा पर्सपेक्टिव रहता है वो इंटरनल, यानी जो इंटरनली डिटॉक्सिफिकेशन एंड एक्सटर्नल एप्लीकेशन जिसमें पंचकर्मा प्रोसीजर्स रहते हैं वो हम साथ में करते हैं। तो जब हम दोषास बैलेंस करते हैं तो प्रॉब्लम रिजॉल्व हो पाती है, लेकिन वो तभी पॉसिबल होगा जब हम लाइफस्टाइल को मैनेज कर पाते हैं या फिर हम अपना डाइटरी रूटीन को ठीक करते हैं। तो वो मैनेजमेंट अच्छा है। और लॉन्ग सिटिंग जो लॉन्ग आवर्स की जो है, यानी निदान जो रूट कॉजेज रहते हैं, उनको अगर हम रिजॉल्व करते हैं तो ही हमारी प्रॉब्लम जो है वो अच्छे से ठीक होती है।
डॉक्टर चंचल, आजकल बैक मसाजेस भी बहुत हो रही हैं। जनरली बैक पेन जब होता है तो लोग बैक मसाजेस के लिए जाते हैं। सो हाउ इज बैक मसाज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम आयुर्वेदिक थेरेपीज?
हम कभी ऐसा रिकमेंड नहीं करते कि आप बैक मसाज करा लो, बिकॉज स्पाइन जो है वो बहुत ही सेंसिटिव ऑर्गन है। और अगर आपने किसी से भी बैक मसाज कराया एंड हु इज अननोन टू ऑल द थिंग्स कि कौन से डायरेक्शन में करनी है, किस प्रेशर से होनी चाहिए, और अगर कोई भी नर्व कंप्रेस होती है तो वो प्रॉब्लम को एग्रीवेट कर सकती है। तो इसलिए मसाजेस आर नेवर रिकमेंडेड। आयुर्वेदा में जो भी करते हैं वो थेरेपीज होती हैं। दो प्रॉपरली पंचकर्मा के जो ट्रेन थेरेपिस्ट होते हैं, जिन्होंने 2 साल का 3 साल का कोर्स किया होता है, दे डू दोज प्रोसीजर्स एंड दैट टू अंडर डॉक्टर्स गाइडेंस। तो उसमें वो भी हम देखते हैं कि किसको ऑयल करवाना है। आप हर पेशेंट को ऑयल मसाज नहीं दे सकते। बहुत जगहों पे हमें ड्राई मसाज करना होता है, यानी कि हम बालू का स्ट्रेट की पोटली करते हैं या आयुर्वेदिक हर्ब्स के पाउडर्स की पोटली करते हैं। बहुत बार हम कपिंग थेरेपी करते हैं, बहुत बार रक्त मोक्षण करते हैं। तो इट कैन नेवर बी इजी सॉल्यूशन कि अगर आपको बैक पेन हुआ है तो आप सिंपली जाकर ऑयल मसाज कर लो। अगर वो मसाजेस से एग्रीवेट हो रहा है, इट मीन्स यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि आपको एक अंडर गाइडेड डॉक्टर के गाइडेंस में ट्रेन थेरेपिस्ट से ही थेरेपी करवानी चाहिए, स्पेशली एट बैक इश्यूज।
थैंक यू डॉक्टर चंचल, दैट वाज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, क्योंकि अक्सर बैक पेन होता है और लोग उसकी अच्छे से मसाज करते हैं एंड दे लैंड अप इनटू मोर प्रॉब्लम्स।
राइट, वो बहुत बार नर्व कंप्रेशन होकर प्रॉब्लम को और ज्यादा एग्रीवेट कर देता है।
So no massages, and if there is a back pain, then you need to go to a doctor for a right treatment of choice, for selecting the right treatment. Dr. Pankaj, बहुत सारे मिथ्स हैं बैक पेन को लेके, जैसे कि मेरी एजिंग हो रही है अब तो मुझे बैक पेन रहेगा ही रहेगा। हाउ फार इज इट ट्रू? मतलब अगर एक आदमी 50-60 क्रॉस कर जाता है, so how should he take it as granted that उसको पेन रहेगा ही रहेगा?
No, that is not true at all. So all depends on how you have tuned your body. So if you start doing some exercises, this is basically what we see in our clinical practice also. Most of the time, what happens that patients in the middle age group, that means in the after crossing 50, they just suddenly wake up and then now I cross 50 age, I must do some exercises. Till the time of 45, 50, they are just return, they are busy in their work, they are doing their routine activities, but they are not taking out any time for their exercises. But at the age of 50, 55, when hair starts graying, then they suddenly wake up that I must do exercise, otherwise my old age will be a problematic. So this commonly happens. This is we commonly see all these things. So suddenly they go for this gymming. They start joining gymming. So this is the biggest problem which happens, that your body, your joints, your disc, your ligaments, your muscles, they are not tuned. If they are not tuned, and if you suddenly join gym, suddenly they give up. So this is a reason why we have a lot of problems which starts at the age of 55, 56, around 60 age. So it is not that it is going to happen with everybody. If your body is tuned for that, then you continue with your exercises, you continue with the gymming, you continue with the walk, jogging, whatever you are doing, it will not happen. We see, we in our own houses, we see our old generation, they are 70, 80, 90 also. They don't have any back pains, they don't have any joint pains, because they are tuned for that. So if you are doing regularly from your childhood, that is again very important. It is very important that, because childhood is very important, because if that time you are not doing that, that is the time when your muscles are building, your joints are building, your ligaments are building, your disc is building. So that is the time when you start tuning our body. So if you are doing that regularly, then it should not happen in old age.
There is a question from one of our viewers, कि how do we differentiate कि back pain is because of muscular or disc?
Yes. So this is a difficult to differentiate for a layman, because for this we need some examination, some tests are required. If you pinpoints the source of the pain, so whenever we say that back pain, as I mentioned, that it is not only spine. In the spine also, we have disc, we have joints, we have ligaments, we have muscles there, we have bones there. There are so many things over there. We have nerves over there. So there are multiple things in this very small area. So we have to pinpoint what is the source of the pain. So for that, we need to examine the patient. Uh, if you ask me that if it is coming from the disc or if it is coming from the muscle, you can differentiate, like usually disc pain will have some more severity as compared to the muscle pain. Disc pain will be more of the chronic condition than the muscular pain. Suddenly somebody is doing some twisting movements, suddenly twisted, lifted heavy weight. This may catch your muscle, and you can understand that your muscle into spasm. You can feel that. So this is how you can differentiate whether it is a muscular pain or a discogenic pain. But let me tell you, don't diagnose yourself. This is very wrong. If you are doing that, don't do it to yourself, because there are some tests, there are some examinations required to differentiate what is the exact source of the pain.
Okay, that is really important, that consulting the doctor, if you have suddenly developed pain, to diagnose it is very, very important. And we in Family First are actually promoting preventive healthcare कि जैसे ही आपको कोई तकलीफ हो, please consult a doctor, get it diagnosed, and then start the treatment accordingly. Then there is another question which is very commonly asked and has been asked with one of our viewers also. जमीन पर लेटने से दर्द ठीक होता है क्या, या हार्ड सरफेस पर लेटने से? This is a very common myth again.
Yeah. So I'll say that it is not a myth with the general population. This is still a myth with some other doctors also. When I see a lot of patients who come to me with a back pain and they say that I've been advised by the doctor to sleep on the floor. So this is the biggest, again, another very big myth, because this advice was there around 25, 30 years back. Remember we used to use that nylon cords and this cart, what we used to call it as carts and nylon beds. So what used to happen that time, that if you are sleeping on those, whenever you sleep, the cot will go like this. It takes a shape of the curvature of the like this. Okay, but are we using those things? Anybody using those? We don't use those things now. So that is the time when it was required. Now, because you have a back pain, you have some strain on the muscle or the ligaments or the disc in the back. If you sleep on those carts, which are taking the shape of the concavity, like the concavity like this, so that will aggravate your pain. But now nobody is sleeping on those things. So that was the advice which we used to give long back, maybe decades, 3 to 4 decades back. But that is not true for nowadays, because what is important is that you should have a firm surface. Firm surface means your bed, whatever you are sleeping on a mattress, it should not be very soft. It should not be very hard. Those things are important. If you ask me what is the best mattress for that, this is a very usual question people ask me, that what is the best mattress for us if you have a back pain. If you have a back pain, if you don't have back pain, the best is the density. Density is important. The 40 density of the mattress is important. It should not be 50. 50 is very hard. 30 and less than that, it becomes very soft. Another people ask that about the spring mattress. So there are different types of spring mattresses which are available. So those are very like softy, jumpy sort of mattresses are there. Those are not good for your back. Maybe for 1 or 2 days, if you go to the resort and then you are sleeping on those mattresses, good. But not for the long term, because you are almost 1/3 of your life you are spending on your bed. 8 hours, at least 6 to 8 hours you are spending on bed every day. So that becomes your 1/3 of your life. So it should be firm. There is no need to lie on the floor. No, not at all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pankaj. That was really enlightening again. Then there is a common myth. Very commonly the patients come कि मेरा cesarean हुआ था, मेरे को spine में injection लगा था, और उसके बाद से मेरे को पीठ में दर्द रहने लगा है.
Yeah, this is very, very commonly we see in your clinical practice also. Again, this is a very big myth, because so spinal anesthesia जो बोलते हैं, that spinal which is given in the back, so that is not only given for the cesarean section. That is used for majority of the procedures which are done in the lower abdomen and the lower limb regions. So that is given to the male patients also. So it is not that only female patients are going with this spinal anesthesia. So male patients also undergo this kind of anesthesia. So it has nothing at all to do with the spinal anesthesia, what spinal is given in the back. It has nothing to do with that. The needle which is used for nowadays, which is used for the spinal anesthesia, it is such a thin needle I can, if I compare with the needle, whatever we use for the sampling of the blood, it is almost half of that. It is such a thin needle, and that needle is only in the posterior part of the spine. It doesn't go into the anterior part of the spine where we have most of the pain generators. The pain comes mostly from the anterior part of the spine, not from the posterior part. Okay, and whereas this spinal anesthesia which is given, that is in the posterior part of the spine. So that's a big myth. Don't get confused with that, because yes, this is possible. This happens because after cesarean section, uh, patient lies on bed or not taking some exercises or not going for walk. So that aggravates the pain. Definitely that aggravates the pain, and then patient correlate this pain with the spinal anesthesia pain. So that is not a correct thing to correlate with the spinal anesthesia.
There are a lot of questions pouring in about the treatment. I would go to the treatment later on. First, let's clear some more myths and facts. So again, there is very commonly patients say, मेरा X-ray normal है, but मेरी पीठ का दर्द नहीं जा रहा है.
Yes. So X-ray is not a good choice for your spine. Because as I mentioned, there are multiple sources of the pain. Among them, the disc is one of the common cause. This ligaments are the common causes. The nerves, there are multiple soft tissues are there. So all these things we cannot see on X-ray. X-ray is good for the bony or the joints, for the bones and the joints. So in the early stages of the disease, when the bones are not involved, in those cases, we will miss anything which is something happening serious inside the body. So X-ray is not at all a good choice. Now, I'll just give you one example. If you have a boil, abscess somewhere, okay, if you go for the X-ray, X-ray will come normal. You won't be able to see that abscess on the X-ray, but there's an infection there. All right. So same thing happens in the spine also. So don't rely on the X-ray. X-ray is usually a first choice after trauma. If there's a trauma, history of trauma, in those cases that is good, but otherwise don't rely on the X-ray. There are some conditions where X-ray is required, but that only the doctor, the specialist doctor knows where the X-ray is required. But you should not rely on the X-ray.
So can we take home the message that if you have got a back pain and you want to get something done, you should definitely consult a doctor and then take an investigation rather than going straight away for an X-ray, CT or MRI.
Absolutely. So again, what I mentioned is that once we do go for the conservative management, what we say that 4 to 6 years of conservative management, if the patient is not improving or the patient is having any red flags, what we mentioned in the our first few minutes, that time we mentioned about some red flags. In those cases, the doctor will see that what is required. Most commonly, for the most important investigation for the spine is your MRI. At times, CT scan is required, so that doctors know what to do, what to go for the CT scan or the MRI is required.
Okay. Then there's another question which has come up is, I've got back pain. Can I bend forward?
Okay, so again, there are different types of sources of the pain. Depending on the source of the pain, you can do some activities. Some activities are allowed, some activities are not allowed.
Like, again, it is the doctor who is going to tell you what is allowed.
Absolutely, we have to first pinpoint the source of the pain. Now, let me just give you one example. If it is a disc pain coming from the disc, in those cases, the forward bending is usually we ask the patient to avoid forward bending. But the patient is having joints pain coming from the joints or the ligaments. In those cases, we ask them to avoid backward bending or the twisting movements. That they should avoid.
So again
depends on the source of the pain. What is the source of the pain?
And accordingly, the exercises are told. So there is again a question: what are the basic exercises to keep my back healthy?
So if you talk about the basic thing is you have to take care of your spine in the form of. I'll give you another example here about the joints and this disc, which is a major source of this. If 70-80% of the patient with the chronic back pain mostly comes from the disc or the joints. I just give you one example. I'll try to explain with this example. In rubbers, the erasers. If you keep using them, you bend them, what will happen to the rubber? It will come back to its normal position if it is flexible. So this is the flexibility which is required. Now this flexibility is maintained only if you are using it. If you keep using rubber, it will remain flexible. If you don't use rubber for some time or for some days, what will happen to the rubber? It will start drying up. And then when you start using it, it will start cracking. Same happens with the tires also, your vehicle tires. Same thing happens with them also. So just consider your disc and joints wherever. I'm not talking about only the spine, joints anywhere in the body. All this depends on the how much you are using them.
The elasticity.
Yes, if you are using them properly, they will get its nutrition. Nutrition is possible only with the movements. The compression, decompression forces, if we apply on the joints and the disc, then they'll get the nutrition. So this nutrition is important for them. So simple exercises like regular walks, avoid sitting for more than 30 minutes at a stretch. Keep walking, keep taking breaks in between if you have a long sitting hours job. So these are the basic exercises which we can do. And there are multiple exercises which we can see on the YouTube also. But if you have a back pain, don't follow those exercises. What I'm saying, what I usually advise patient, you can go and see on YouTube these exercises which are available, but that is only for those who do not have these kind of problems. If you have some problem in the back or the spine or something happening inside, then to just follow the exercises what the doctor is suggesting.
So another question related to this is, if my back hurts, should I limit my mobility?
Again, same thing here, depending on the red flags. If the patient is having compression of the nerve over there, in those cases, we only advise them to take some rest. Otherwise, if the patient is having some degenerative process happening or some coming from the disc or the joints, in those cases, we advise them to go for regular walks. If the patient develops pain, suppose the patient says, I am comfortable sitting, but when I go for walk, I'm still comfortable, but after 30 minutes of walk or 40 minutes of walk, I start getting pain. So you should limit your walk to 30 minutes. If the pain is coming after walking certain distance, you have to stop, limit your walking distance to that level.
You shouldn't be exerting yourself.
Exactly. So what you can do, if you are going for one hour walk every day, you can divide into 30 minutes morning, 30 minutes evening. That is better. Instead of stopping absolutely, that is not a good idea. You should not stop. There are some red flags signs where we have to advise them to go for the resting. Otherwise, it is not required in most of the cases.
The next question is, can we do stretching exercise at the time of pain?
Stretching exercises, yes, definitely we can do. Again, I'll say that some stretching exercises are good for your back, but if you have some related to some of your joints or the nerves are getting compressed, in those cases you should avoid doing exercise on your own. Let the doctor decide what exercise is good for you, what is not good for you. Similarly, for the yoga also, I'll say that because this happens especially after 21st June, we get a lot of patients of the back pain suddenly. Because the 21st June is considered as a yoga day, and suddenly people wake up after 1 year that let me also participate in the yoga day. Okay, their body is not tuned for all these yogas, and so suddenly on one day they start going for yoga. They'll do yoga for 1 hour, 2 hours, and they end up in some problems. So simple rule is that if you are doing regular exercises, you must continue with that.
It's 21
but
hours.
If you have some problem, then take advice of the doctor. Then he will see what is the source of the pain, and then accordingly he'll advise you the exercises.
Again, the next question is, if we come to know that it is a muscular pain, so how much rest do we need to give?
So in case of acute spasm, again, there are something called acute conditions, and there are some chronic conditions. In acute conditions, we see the condition of the patient. If it is in the severe spasm, if just a single band of the muscle is under spasm, or it is a group of the muscle which is under spasm, accordingly we advise the rest. If the patient is having severe spasm of the spine, muscle, paraspinal muscles, in those cases, we usually advise them to go for some rest. During that time, they should not do some exercise also, because we have to give some rest for the muscle to relax also. If we keep doing exercises, we are again basically putting that muscles into a vicious cycle. Pain, spasm becomes a cycle. We have to break that cycle. For that, at times we require 2 to 3 days of 4 to 5 days of rest is required.
And thank you, Dr. Pankaj. And now one question is, as back pain is very common in pregnancy and lactational patient, how to prevent it?
So
during
yeah, Dr. Chanchal, this is yours.
Okay.
बैक पेन इन ड्यूरिंग प्रेगनेंसी बिकॉज ऑफ द प्रेशर जो बच्चे की वजह से आपकी बैक पे पड़ता है, और मूवमेंट्स जो है वो बहुत रिस्ट्रिक्टेड रहती हैं प्रेगनेंसी में, बिकॉज बेबी वेट जो है वो कैरी करना अलॉन्ग विद योर बॉडी वेट थोड़ा सा पेशेंट्स के लिए मुश्किल होता है, स्पेशली जो भी आपके पोस्ट सेकेंड ट्राइमेस्टर जब ऐसी कंडीशंस आती हैं, तो उस दौरान में यू कैन गो फॉर पंचकर्मा थेरेपीज लाइक जो इजिली आप करवा सकते हैं, लाइक आप ऑयल मसाज किसी ट्रेन थेरेपिस्ट से करवा सकते हैं। पिचू करके एक प्रोसीजर होता है, वो पिचू धारण आप करवा सकते हैं, जिसमें एक कॉटन को लेकर उसे ऑयल में डिप करके उसको एक प्लेसमेंट दिया जाता है, लॉन्ग विद डेट कटी बस्ती करके प्रोसीजर होता है, डेट यू कैन डू, और पोटली मसाजेस हैं, तो उस दौरान ये चीजें करने से हमें रिलीफ मिलता है। इंटरनल मेडिकेशंस आर नॉट अलाउड ड्यूरिंग प्रेगनेंसी एज पर आयुर्वेदा।
Okay, and what about the pain, acute muscular pain? Are there any treatments for the acute muscular pains? जैसे एकदम से रात को मतलब टेढ़ा पेशेंट, एक बंदा एकदम से टेढ़ा हुआ, सीधा हुआ, दर्द हो गया, झुका, तो do you do some therapies or treatments for those?
बिल्कुल, जो बस्ती थेरेपी होती है वो उसमें बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस प्ले करती है, लॉन्ग विद डेट जो मैंने आपको बताया कि पोड़ी किसी करके एक केरला थेरेपी होती है, डेट इज डन, देन धान्याम्ल धारा इज डन इन दोज केसेस। तो जब ऐसे एक्यूट केसेस आते हैं तो उसमें ये थेरेपीज हम देते हैं। इसके अलावा अग्निकर्मा करके हमारी एक थेरेपी होती है, वो भी इसमें बहुत रिजल्ट देती है, लेकिन जब भी ऐसे पेन्स हैं, इट्स नॉट कि आपको 1 सिटिंग या 2 सिटिंग्स में रिस्पॉन्स मिलता है, 3 to 6 वीक्स का टाइम आपको देना पड़ता है बॉडी को उसको रिकवर करने के लिए।
And how frequently are these therapies done?
अगर एक बार आप बिल्कुल अगर स्टार्टिंग स्टेज में डॉक्टर के पास आते हैं तो 3 to 6 वीक्स वो करना होता है, और स्टार्टिंग 15 डेज दीज आर डन रेगुलरली। उसके बाद जो बस्ती ट्रीटमेंट है, जिसमें स्पेशली हम लोग पित्तशीर बस्ती करवाते हैं, वो प्रोसीजर पेशेंट घर पर भी कर सकता है। कटी बस्ती प्रोसीजर भी घर पर इजीली किया जा सकता है, अगर आप एक बार उसको देख लेते हैं सेंटर पर कैसे किया जाता है। तो इस तरीके से अगर वो 2 to 6 वीक्स तक आप करते हैं तो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व होगी, 1 or 2 सिटिंग में प्रॉब्लम कभी सॉल्व नहीं हो सकती।
ओके, सो इट इज मतलब 1.5 से 2 महीने तक का ट्रीटमेंट आपको लेना पड़ेगा, एंड द इनिशियल थिंग कैन बी टॉट ट्रेन्ड एट योर क्लिनिक एंड देन दे कुड कंटिन्यू डूइंग एट देयर होम।
यस, प्राइमरी मैनेजमेंट वी कैन डू एट क्लिनिक, लेटर ऑन फॉर लॉन्ग टर्म मैनेजमेंट यू कैन डू इट एट होम।
Okay, and what is the approximate cost of these such treatments in Ayurveda?
Minimum cost for one sitting is like 800 rupees, and it may vary to 2000 also, depending upon the condition, severity of the condition. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Chanchal. And Dr. Pankaj, there is another question for you. Aajkal there are lots of minimally invasive procedures which have come up, and with lot of newer modalities. पहले ये होता था spine पे pain है या slip disc है, तो then it is directly a surgery. So now there is something in between the surgery and the physiotherapy, which is in minimally invasive procedures. Could you tell us more about that? What is that, and how could we be benefited?
Yeah, so in fact, this is also a myth that if you have a back pain, you have to undergo surgery. It was never like that. Earlier also, we always used to consider conservative management as the first line of treatment. Conservative means some physiotherapy, exercises, and medications. So it is not that in every patient we used to go for the surgery, but definitely it's not nowadays. It is not new modalities. It's been 15 years since I'm practicing these interventions, spine interventions. So let me explain you with some example again, because for the general public it is important to understand. And now people know about the angiographies and the angioplasties. People know about that. I'm sure that most of people have heard about this modalities, angioplasties and angiographies. So what used to happen around 30 years back or 40 years back, whenever you have a heart attack or blockage in the heart vessels, so what was the option that time? The option was open bypass surgery. That was the only option. If it is a minor kind of thing, people used to manage with the medications. But if it is a major problem, then people used to patient had to undergo open bypass surgeries. But now, since last maybe 22 or 3 decades, uh, what is happening now? Now, 90 to 95% of the heart blockages we can manage with the angioplasties. How we are managing that? We are just going with a small hole. We can go inside. We can see where's the blockage. We can open that blockage, or we can put a stent inside and we can open that blockage. This can be done as just a 1 or 2 days of stay. That's it. So similar things are happening in every field. So in spine also, we have all these modalities available. So again, I'll take some example, like if you have a spine fracture, which is very common nowadays because of the advancing age, the life expectancy is increasing. So we have a lot of old age populations which is there with us. So these patients are mostly osteoporotic and they undergo some fractures in the spine. Now these patients are not fit for surgeries because their spine is already osteoporotic, bones are already weak. If you undergo surgery, if you put an implant, if you try to fix them with this rod and screw, the rod and screw will give away and then they'll end up in a problem. But now with just spine interventions, what we can do is with just a small hole, just a keyhole, we can go inside the spine where the fracture is there and we can fix the spine over there. Similarly, now a lot of young patients are coming with a disc problem, slip disc, prolapse disc, sciatica. All these are the general terms what I'm using here. So younger population, if we send them for surgeries, open surgeries, usually they have some little bit of complications and some surgical, post-surgical problems are there. So we can very much avoid all these surgical procedures in these patients by again with the endoscopies. So like for the endoscopies are there for the GI tract and other areas. Similarly, we have endoscopies available for the spine also. Now again, with just a small hole, we can go inside the spine. We can see where is the nerve getting compressed, where is the disc material which has come out, and we can target that disc material and we can remove it from there with just a small hole. And most of these procedures, what I'm mentioning, there are multiple such procedures which are available. All these procedures which can be done in a daycare settings. Daycare settings means we can admit the patient in the morning hour and we can discharge the patient same day by evening of 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. So maybe by in 4 to 6 hours, we can discharge the patient. So that is the beauty of these procedures. And I'll say that around 70% of the major spine surgeries we can avoid with these interventions.
So a lot of questions pouring in again. What can be the reason for pain flowing from back to legs?
So as I already mentioned that if the patient's pain from starting from the back and going down to the leg, most common reason for that is the pinching of the nerve. That means nerve is getting compressed or it is getting irritated with the disc which has come out or the joint problem which is there. So nerves which when they come out of the spine, they go to the legs. So in the spine, where the nerve root comes out, there may be some compression of the nerve or there is some swelling of the nerve because of the irritation of the nerve. And that causes pain in the leg. So it is not that there is something wrong in the leg. This pain usually comes from the back and patient feel pain in the leg.
Okay. And then there's a question, I think, Dr. Chanchal, if you could help us with this. I feel weak in the left leg and left hand. What could be the reason?
See, if there is like left hand and left leg both are weak, then it means Vata dosha is aggravated in your body. एंड वीकनेस जब होती है दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ कफ, उसका जो एक्यूमुलेशन उसमें कफ का साथ में रहता है. तो ऐसे केसेस में सबसे पहले आपको जो वातवर्धक चीजें हैं या जो कफ बढ़ाने वाली चीजें उनको अवॉइड करना चाहिए, जैसे कि चने की दाल, बेसन, मैदा या गोभी की सब्जी, बीन जो हम नॉर्मली खाते रहते हैं. तो ये चीजें अवॉइड करेंगे तो वो प्रॉब्लम वहीं पर रिस्ट्रिक्ट होगी. उसके बाद आपको फिर डॉक्टर से मिलकर उसका ट्रीटमेंट देखना चाहिए.
Okay. Then again, the answer for this is you should meet a doctor and see how you could be helped, ताकि ये जो weakness है ये paralysis में आगे बढ़ के
बिल्कुल।
आगे ना बढ़ जाए.
क्योंकि
And
वो अगर ऐसा वीकनेस हैंड एंड लेग दोनों साइड पर हो रही है, इट मींस कहीं ना कहीं नर्वस सिस्टम का इन्वॉल्वमेंट उसमें आ रहा है. तो डेफिनेटली यू शुड मीट अ डॉक्टर इंस्टेड ऑफ इग्नोरिंग दैट, और उसके लिए कुछ नुस्खे अपनाने की बजाय.
okay, and then Dr. Pankaj, another question for you. Please tell us something for sciatica.
So sciatica is basically it's again a layman term. Basically, sciatic nerve is made up of 5 nerves. So any involvement of any nerve, 5 out of these, any one out of these 5 nerves may cause radiation to the leg. So that is called a leg pain starting from the back. So it is not always that sciatic nerve is getting compressed anywhere. It is maybe the one of the nerve root of the sciatic nerve. So actually, your previous question was there that patient is saying that I'm having back pain and going down to the leg.
Yeah.
In layman term, they call it as a sciatica, but actually it is one of the nerve of the sciatic nerve which is getting compressed, or it is getting some inflammation of the nerve root over there. So that is called a sciatica. So again, you have to see the doctor, because they have to find out which nerve is getting compressed and where it is getting compressed. So that is very important. So it is not that we just label it as sciatica and that is done.
And they should not just go by the MRI कि MRI में ये disc आ गई है तो इसका ये disc slip है. The cause could be anything. It could be because of the disc slip, it could be because of the nerve compression, it could be because of the joints, and that has to be clinically correlated. Dr. Chanchal, एक question है, L4, L5 region में continuous pain रहता है. Please suggest.
अगर L4, L5 रीजन में कंटिन्यूअस पेन रहता है तो आपको डॉक्टर को दिखाना होगा, बिकॉज वो आप डायग्नोज नहीं कर सकते कि वो L4 में है, L5 में है. लेमन पर्सन के लिए वो समझना मुश्किल है. तो पहले डॉक्टर को दिखा के आपको जज करना होगा कि एक्चुअल प्रॉब्लम क्या हो रही है, और उसके अकॉर्डिंग जो भी हमारी आयुर्वेदिक थेरेपीज हैं, यू कैन गो फॉर डेट. और अलॉन्ग विद आयुर्वेदिक थेरेपीज आयुर्वेदिक मेडिसिन भी हम देते हैं. तो जब ये प्रोसीजर्स हम करते हैं आपकी प्रॉब्लम को कंसिडर करते हुए, तो उससे आपकी जो अगर वहाँ पर कुछ इंफ्लेमेटरी कंडीशन है तो उसके अकॉर्डिंग वहाँ पर ट्रीटमेंट दिया जाएगा. अगर वहाँ नरिशिंग ऑफ जॉइंट्स या इम्प्रूवमेंट उसकी जरूरत है तो उसके अकॉर्डिंग थेरेपी दी जाती है. इसी तरीके से स्पाज्म रिलीजिंग के लिए अलग थेरेपीज होती है. तो जो भी इशू वहां पर आ रहा है उसके हिसाब से ट्रीटमेंट करेंगे तो हमें डेफिनेटली रिजल्ट मिलेंगे. तो इंस्टेड ऑफ थिंकिंग कि आपको L4, L5 में है, आपको डॉक्टर से कंसल्ट करके उसके हिसाब से ट्रीटमेंट लेने से रिजल्ट मिलेगा.
So the take-home message from both of you means whether it is a allopathy or it is a Ayurveda, you need to consult a doctor, you need to get it diagnosed, and then there are so many options available. But please don't limit yourself at your homes and keep thinking mera ye pain hai and this is going to continue and I cannot get rid of it. Yes, if you keep that pain for a long time, तो वो अगर खराब हो जाएगी चीज, if it is during the process of deterioration, it could be definitely reverted back. लेकिन अगर आप उस चीज को सड़ा देंगे रखे तो डॉक्टर के भी बस का नहीं बचेगा उसको ठीक करना. Is it a good fair statement to make?
Right.
Yeah, we can say that. So again, I'll give you one example that the degeneration process, जैसे बाल सफेद हो गया उसको हम बाल फिर से काला नहीं कर सकते. Same thing happens in our body also. Any joint, disc, whatever it is, if it goes into degeneration, we cannot reverse it. We can prevent further degeneration. Definitely, we can prevent that. So it is always better if we can find out this degenerative process from the beginning and we can take some action at that time so that we can prevent its further degeneration. That is the most important. And for that, again, very important thing is that you must consult a doctor because doctor is the best person to diagnose that condition. So I'll just add one other thing because at times doctors, we have seen that a lot of time in our clinical practice, I'm sure Dr. Chanchal, you must have also experienced this. So this is just for the general public. I want to tell them, usually patients comes to us with the MRI or whatever the investigations they have, they put it in front of us. Doctor, this is my problem. And when we start asking them, no, you can see here, it is there. In my MRI, it is given, everything is there. Why don't you see that? But what is important is that not the MRI. MRI is very secondary for us. So whatever questions we ask, whatever we do examination, that has some role, because according to that we make some diagnosis in our mind, and then we correlate with the investigation, whatever you have or whatever we order. So this is very important point for the general public to understand. All these questions, all these examinations, they have a big role.
So, Dr.
एंड
Pankaj,
इन आवर प्रैक्टिस ऑल्सो हमने ऐसा देखा है कि पेशेंट आता है कि मैम मेरे फ्रेंड ने पोटली करवाया था, उसको बैक पेन का इश्यू था, तो सेम मुझे करवाना है, या मेरे फ्रेंड ने आपसे रक्त मोक्षण करवाया था, उसका बैक पेन रिजॉल्व हो गया, तो मुझे वही चीज करवाना है. तो इट कैन नेवर बी अ सॉल्यूशन. हर पेशेंट का इश्यू अलग होता है, भले ही वो पॉइंट ऑफ पेन या प्लेस ऑफ पेन सेम हो, तो ट्रीटमेंट तो डॉक्टर के हिसाब से होगा. नॉर्मली ऐसा ही होता है, जैसे डॉक्टर साहब ने बोला कि पेशेंट आके ऐसा बोलता है मुझे ये प्रॉब्लम है, ये मुझे पता है, आप जस्ट ये ट्रीटमेंट कर दो जो हम आपको बता रहे हैं. So that is not acceptable.
thanks a lot for saying the same thing, Dr. Chanchal and Dr. Pankaj. And the one I'll be taking one last question before we wind up. And this question is, I have been suffering from severe back pain from last 2 years. It remains in the middle of the back on both sides of the spine. Now since January 2020, I have been struggling with the left chest pain, which flows to the shoulder and to the back as well. Sometimes it becomes too severe that I can't even breathe.
So again, we have to see that what is in these conditions with the chronic back pain. Now we have to see that what is aggravating the pain. Whether the rest is aggravating the pain. Usually these kind of patients will have that whatever I could gather from your clinical presentation of this patient. These kind of problems, especially in the chest upper, if it is going up in the chest level, usually these patients will have more of the night pains, and when they get up in the morning, they must be having a lot of stiffness in the back. So this goes more in favor of the inflammatory type of condition. Now, why this happens? Because the patient is having back pain, patient is not doing regular exercises because of the back pain. So suddenly, gradually what happens that the upper segments of the spine, they start getting involved. So again, it becomes a vicious cycle. The pain is there, the spasm is there, the newer segments are getting involved. And this is how it can spread to the upper side. Now, there are multiple reasons for that. That if it is going down, going upwards, there are some reasons where the pain goes down. There are some conditions where the pain starts from the lower back and it goes upwards. So we have to find out what is the cause of that. Again, we have to come to the diagnosis, because if it is increasing, then I think that it must consult a specialist doctor for this, and some instructions are required for this.
Thank you, Dr. Pankaj. And for all the questions which are pouring in, I would request you to please, if you could take out some time to answer them. And I would request all our viewers to consult the doctors and to promote your well-being and health. We in Family First are offering you the preventive health program, in which you could consult our specialist, Dr. Pankaj or Dr. Chanchal, and that could be both offline or online. And you could consult them. The first consultation would be totally free for all our members. So any message which you want to give to our viewers before we leave, Dr. Pankaj?
So stay healthy, take care of your spine. That is the message. Keep moving.
Yeah. Okay. And Dr. Chanchal?
I would like to say कि आपकी जो भी डिजीजेस होती हैं उसमें रूट कॉज आपका सेडेंटरी लाइफस्टाइल या और साथ में आपका जो खान पान है, यानी कि आपके डाइटरी हैबिट्स हैं, वही बहुत ज्यादा रहती हैं. और जो सबसे बड़ी गलती हमारी आज की यूथ करती है वो ये कि जब उनका एक शेड्यूल फिक्स हो जाता है, लाइक वो मॉर्निंग ऑफिस जा रहे हैं, इवनिंग में आते हैं और फिर अपना सो जाते हैं, तो बेसिकली सब ऐसा सोचते हैं कि जब हम रिटायरमेंट लेंगे तब हम अपना डेली योगासन स्टार्ट करेंगे या अपना वर्कआउट स्टार्ट करेंगे या वॉक स्टार्ट करेंगे. इस जो हमारा 30 to 50 एज ग्रुप है, उन लोगों का ऐसा कहना होता है कि उनके पास टाइम नहीं है. बट टिल द टाइम यू रीच एट 50, आपकी प्रॉब्लम्स इतनी ज्यादा एग्रीवेट हो जाती है, लाइक आप लॉन्ग सिटिंग आवर्स होते हैं, आपके पोस्चर्स परफेक्ट नहीं होते, चेयर्स ठीक नहीं होती जिसमें आप ऑफिस में बैठ रहे हैं, और उस दौरान आप अपने आप को वो टाइम नहीं देते हैं कि आप अपनी बॉडी को, कि वो सब चीजों को आप रिकवर कर सको, और फिर आप 50 की एज में सोचते हैं कि सब चीजें एकदम से ठीक हो जाएंगी. तो डोंट डू इट विद योर बॉडी. आप जो भी आपका लाइफस्टाइल है, अगर हम खाने के लिए टाइम निकालते हैं तो एटलीस्ट 30 मिनट्स हमें अपनी बॉडी के लिए जरूर निकालना चाहिए, और हमें अपनी डाइटरी हैबिट्स को बहुत अच्छे से नोटिस करने की जरूरत है। जो भी चीजें बॉडी जो है वो हमेशा सिग्नल देती है किसी भी चीज की सिवियरिटी पे पहुंचने के लिए, तो प्राइमरी सिम्टम्स को देखते हुए ही हमें डॉक्टर्स को कंसल्ट करना चाहिए। और डेफिनेटली आयुर्वेदा आपको उसमें हेल्प करेगा। जो भी थेरेपीज होती हैं, हम डिजनरेशन को रिवर्स नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन जो भी डिजनरेशन हो रहा है या जो चेंजेस आ चुके हैं, आप उसको फर्दर ग्रो करने से रोक सकते हैं, और उसमें आयुर्वेदा डेफिनेटली हेल्प करेगा। एंड यू कैन कंसल्ट फॉर आयुर्वेदिक ट्रीटमेंट to me with the help of Family First. First consultation is always free. And thank you so much, Doctor, for inviting in this webinar so that we could give an Ayurvedic perspective also for back pain.
Thank you, Dr. Chanchal. That was really nice on your part to impart all this knowledge. And I would request everyone to please keep pouring in the questions. Our panelists would be very happy to answer your questions. And the only message which I want to leave you with, if you've got a pain or if you've got a problem, please don't sit with it. Consult a doctor. Because if it is a small problem, it might go away, but there is a possibility that it would aggravate and cause you more difficulty. And once the problem aggravates, the treatment also becomes difficult. So don't keep lingering with your problems, and come over, take a consultation, and relax and stay happy and keep moving. Okay, and that reminds me, the next session for all our viewers, our next session is, because of the changing seasons, there's again a lot of myths coming up कि हमको बारिश में ये खाना चाहिए, वो नहीं खाना चाहिए, ये करना चाहिए और ये नहीं करना चाहिए. So basically the myths and facts about food habits, what to eat, what not to eat with the changing season. So we stay tuned for our next session, which will be again on next Saturday from 8:30. So to know what are the right ways to eat with the changing season. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.